All right, welcome back. Tonight we're going to be making some burritos, or I guess you can call them fajitas, kind of the way I like to do it. As you see, I got some sliced baby bellas. I got some spinach and spring mix we'll use to top it off at the end. Got some bell peppers. I don't know if I'll use all four, but I might. The yellows weren't that big, and I can go ahead and kind of cook or steam these, and I don't have to use them all. Right here, what I'm going to do with this is I got diced tomatoes, diced jalapenos, and diced green chilies. We're going to use those to kind of make a salsa to use for, a sauce. I don't know if you call it a real salsa, but we're going to make kind of a salsa to put on this stuff. And of course, we got our flour tortillas. These are the pretty good size. And of course, you're probably wondering, well, where's the meat? Well, what I did was I bought chicken. These are boneless, skinless chicken breast. They've been slow cooking for about 7 hours. You see they make their own juice. I did not add any juice. I just put them in the bottom and hit start. And I put a bunch of seasoning on there. This is a Ninja cooking system. I have it on low, which basically does an 8-hour slow cook, kind of like a crock pot. The seasoning I put on there, which I love on chicken, by the way, is this right here. It's a Greek seasoning. I think I got it at Walmart, but it's really good. It even has a little bit of a buttery flavor to it, it seems like. But I put a bunch of that on the chicken, like a whole bunch, and that's gonna come out really tasty. So anyway, back to our dish. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these bell peppers up, and after that we will start cooking. There we go. As you see, I got the peppers sliced up real quick. I'm gonna bring them over here. Like I said, we got the chicken. It's almost done. You see all the steam coming out of there? Well, when you cook something in the cooker like that for a while, now you have a steamer. There you go. Just pour the bell peppers in on top, and we're gonna let those steam. And the process of steaming these guys, we've got about 30 minutes left on the cook. The chicken's basically already done. We'll let it run out the final 30 minutes, and that will give the peppers time to I don't like to overcook my vegetables. I want them to be a little bit crunchy. Anyway, so over here, I've got a pan. I've already been preheated. We're on 5. So we're gonna use a light tasting olive oil. I like to cook with olive oil. Of course, I don't want to use strong olive oil like you would dip bread in. Just pour some of that in there. You don't need a whole lot, just enough. And when that heats up, we'll be able to like swish it around so it'll kind of cover the bottom of the pan. And it shouldn't take long. There, see, it's spread out already because the pan is already hot. So we'll let that kind of heat the oil up for a minute, and then we'll add the mushrooms. Also, you can see it's heating up. All you can do is just kind of swish the pan around, and it'll let that oil kind of coat the bottom. You don't really have to, but it's more or less just spreading the oil out than anything. Not really worried about stuff sticking. Now, what I like to do is I'm going to get some minced onions and put them in there. Let those kind of start browning a little bit. And I'm also going to put some powdered garlic. That was minced onion. Now I'm going to put in some powdered garlic. Don't get garlic salt. I mean, it's always better to use garlic powder because you could do the salt separately. So here's the garlic powder. See the onions already turning brown. So I'm going to let the garlic powder, you see how it's still kind of yellow? The onions are starting to brown a little bit. The garlic will also kind of brown a little bit. You can see it's happening already because it's already hot in there. So now that everything's kind of turning tan or brown, it kind of gives it that roasted flavor with the garlic. So that's looking pretty good. Now I'm going to put my mushrooms in there. Bada boom, bada bing. And we're basically just going to we're going to kind of stir fry these mushrooms, get them nice and cooked so we can add it to the dish. And you want to kind of stir these in a little bit. Let them kind of mix with the garlic and the onions and the oil and everything. Get them mixed up real good. You kind of want all the mushrooms to touch some of that oil, at least a little bit. Doesn't have to be drenched or nothing. Like see, it's pretty much all the oil's been soaked up now. But you kind of want to mix it around really, really well. Now that I've accomplished that, I'm actually going to turn the heat down like you know, a little bit because I don't want to burn the mushrooms. And I'm going to stir them occasionally, but I'm going to go ahead and put a lid on there so that the mushrooms will kind of, I guess, kind of steam on their own. Meanwhile, we're going to go over here and I'm going to put my tomatoes in here. And that pan's already been warming up as well. I'm also going to add my jalapenos and my chilies. Definitely don't want to waste those. That's the best part. And I didn't try to drain the juice out of those or anything. It'll cook just fine like it is. All right. And then I'm going to spice this up just a little bit with some cilantro. Doesn't need a whole lot. Also, I'm going to put in some basil. Doesn't need a whole lot of that either. Just a little bit, you know. We'll throw a little salt in there. We'll go back over here too. I haven't put the lid on here yet. I will throw some salt on these mushrooms. I use sea salt. I think it's better. It's supposed to have minerals in it and stuff. Also a little black pepper we'll put in there. We'll put a little black pepper in here too. Why not? So now everything's properly seasoned. I'm going to stir my sauce here. I'll stir the mushrooms one more time. Well, let's see. Kind of catch myself here. We'll stir the mushrooms one more time. We don't want to let them sit on the bottom and burn, but we do want to get them nice and toasty. I just use the same spatula. This food's all going to go together anyway. I'm going to stir up this makeshift sauce, or I guess you can call it salsa if you want to. I don't want anybody yelling at me because it's not technically salsa, but hey, this will be really good as a kind of a sauce to flavor our, you see this temperature, I've got it turned down. It's on about 3.5. I think I'm going to turn it actually down to about 3. I should know. We just kind of want to heat this up. All this stuff literally came out of the can. It's already cooked. It just needs to heat up a little bit. Kind of mix the flavors together. The mushrooms are still cooking. I'm actually not going to put a lid on them. I changed my mind. We're just going to keep stirring them. We got a few minutes that we have to wait for the bell peppers and the chicken to finish up over there. So we'll sit here. We'll kind of stir these mushrooms around. We'll check on our sauce. Make sure it's not getting stuck. Of course, these are non-stick pans. In the meantime, this should probably take about, I'm going to cook these for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll be ready for the next step. All right, so I've been stirring and kind of messing with the mushrooms, and they're about done. They're starting to caramelize over. You can see there's kind of almost a brown gravy in a way that's kind of forming on them or around them. You don't have to cook these a whole lot. I mean, they're hot. It's boiling in there. It's steaming. So the mushrooms are in good shape. So now I'm going to take these mushrooms and dump them in a bowl because I don't want to keep cooking them. All right, so the mushrooms are in the bowl, looking good and tasty. Smell good too. The salsa, it's kind of starting to steam a little bit. It's nice and hot. We can call that good. We're going to also take this salsa and pour it in a bowl, making like a serving station here. You know, like when you go to down the assembly line to make your. So we got our sauce, got our mushrooms. Now we got to work on our shells. So, you know, and I have cheese. I didn't show cheese earlier in the picture, but when you, you know, when you put cheese on top of the meat, it's going to taste good. But what I'm going to do is put the shell down in my hot pan. I like to melt the cheese. I think it just seems to taste better when you get a little melt on there. So we're going to put some cheese on there and let the shell kind of, I don't know, heat up in this pan for a minute while it melts that cheese. And it's going to be awesome. And there we go. Cheese is melted a little bit. I probably could have used a little more cheese. But I'm going to just take this out of here. Stick it on a plate, and then we're going to make another one and be right back. All right, got my 2 shells ready to go here with some cheese on them, mushrooms, salsa, got some lettuce, and I'm going to attempt to pick up a piece of chicken with a pair of tongs. It may fall apart because it was slow cooked. We'll just have to see what happens. I don't know. See the bell peppers are kind of shiny looking. They're glossed over. They've been sitting there steaming for almost 30 minutes. So they're going to be in good shape. Matter of fact, let me get a bowl to put those in as well. There we go. So yeah, bell peppers look good. They're soft, they're warm, they're glossed over. I'm gonna dip these out of here best I can. I don't have to get all of them right now, but I gotta get these out to get to the chicken. So, all right. I love bell peppers, especially when they're still a little bit crunchy, nice and warm. Now I'm gonna try to get a piece of chicken out of here. Oh, it looks like we're gonna be able to do it too. I'm gonna grab that piece of chicken. I gotta cut it up a little bit, so I'll be right back. All right, yeah, I tried to cut the chicken up. It actually looks more like pulled chicken, because even with a sharp knife, the chicken just kind of fell apart. That's a good thing. So let's get some of this chicken, put it over here on this guy, right here. We'll get some of it put over here on this guy right here. These are gonna be so amazing. I mean, if you could smell what I'm smelling right now, oh my gosh, everything just smells perfect. Don't want to waste any chicken. All right. Now we're going to get some of these mushrooms. Some mushrooms on there. Mushrooms have a really great earthy flavor to them. They're great on anything, honestly. I think, unless you don't like mushrooms, but I happen to love mushrooms. So there's our mushrooms. We're also going to get some of these bell peppers. Kind of get a little mix here. Put some bell peppers on there. Nice mix of colors here. Oh, we don't have a red one. There we go. So we got our bell peppers on there. Man, these are looking good. We're gonna get some salsa, and that's not a spoon. Sorry, we'll use this spoon. Get some salsa on there. Oh yeah, beautiful. Get some salsa on the other one. So much easier to do this without holding a camera. There we go. Looking great. And then I also want to add optional ingredient. I'm gonna add a little bit of hot sauce to mine too. This is my favorite hot sauce, black garlic. It's made with Carolina Reaper black garlic. It's got a great flavor. It's got a decent heat. It's 57,000 Scoville rating. So that's, I don't know, what is that, like 10 times hotter than a habanero or even more than a jalapeno. Just put a little bit on there. Just make sure the food doesn't try to sneak up on us. We'll feel it going in, chewing around, going down. It's hot. Great flavor though. And then top it off, we're just gonna grab some salad here. Bada boom, bada bing. Gotta have our leafy greens, right? Isn't that what they tell us? Put some on there, and there we have. Roll them up and eat them. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I love to show people how to cook, easy things to cook. Nothing here was hard. But it's gonna be great, and this is healthy, super healthy. Probably the worst thing in here is literally the cheese, which is not bad for you in moderation. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Thank you.